I personally think that they should at least keep it until the end of summer rather than the end of the update. This area is too good to get rid of. But the thing is, like, let's just say you did everything in this region. You got all the chests, you got all the primo gems, you did all of the mini games, you got all the rewards. I honestly think the only thing you would come back here for is the music, and at that point, it's no different than Dragon Spine. So the fact that they're putting something in here and taking it away isn't to punish the players. It's literally like, this area has overstayed its welcome. There's really no point in having it come back. You're never gonna come back here. You would probably much sooner listen to the new music on a YouTube video than go in-game and come into this area and just chill here and listen to music. I know that sounds harsh, but like realistically, the only people that are missing out on this are people that are not playing the event now or people who are not playing Genshin now. And I feel like MiHoYo will come out with reruns of these updates in future, but the people that are like, why are they getting rid of this? Why are they getting rid of this? You're saying that in the moment because you're taking in this new experience, but just like Dragon Spine, unless a quest tells you to come back there, you're never going there again. It's just how it is, and the sooner people accept that, the sooner I think people can, you know, just enjoy the ride of getting new content. You can pour one out for the people who are playing Genshin for the first time now that will miss out on this event, but there's nothing that says MiHoYo won't rerun these in the future. And if they rerun them in the future, if you miss out on it now, you'll get a chance in the future. There's really no rush. That's my opinion on them getting rid of this. I love the music. I said the same thing. I'm like, why would they get rid of this? But I'm almost done with this entire region. I literally have this island, these little clusters right here, this one, and then I gotta fight Makukenki, and then I come back on the, you know, and then Act 4 happens, and then why would I ever come back here, you know? And all of the stuff that's currently here, Makukenki, Kazuha's, like, fungus flower materials, those are gonna be in Inazuma, so this is just the middle ground. Oh yeah, you'll miss the mini games, you'll miss the traveling on the boat, but we might get a boat in Inazuma. You know, we might be able to have different experiences that harken back to this, but I understand why they're getting rid of it. Even if it wasn't because of the mobile users, it's just gonna become another Dragon Spine. It's just gonna sit there and it's gonna take up space that once you get through the content, you're never gonna experience it again. And maybe that's MiHoYo's fault for just having everything up front and not anything in the long term, which is why I think maybe they'll revisit Dragon Spine with, you know, with Durin's heart being in there and all that, and maybe more with Albedo's quest. But yeah, I mean, I understand it. Like, we're getting this new content. Everybody loves it. It's engaging. This is probably the most fun I've had in a really long time with exploring new terrain, because we went through Mondstadt, we went through Liyue, we went through Dragon Spine, we went through Windbloom and Lantern Rite and Unreconciled Stars, and we went through filler content. And this is like a breath of fresh air. It really is. And I think the fact that it's here for 6 weeks is just to make sure that you get the absolute, you immerse yourself as best as possible, because it's not gonna be here forever. And they're giving you enough time to get everything, to get all the primo gems, to get all the rewards, to get the costumes, to enjoy the music, to enjoy the mini games and the new environment before Inazuma, which is gonna blow our fucking wig back. It's bittersweet. It's bittersweet for sure, but this is a product of its time. If you were here in the time and place to play 1.6 Archipelagos, then it was great. And if you weren't, it's unfortunate, because Inazuma will be there for those new players. It's like, yeah, you missed the Archipelagos, but you're not waiting almost a year for Inazuma like the rest of us did. So it's a pretty much a give and take. You can't expect MiHoYo to just make everything and keep everything, because, to be honest, you're not gonna consume everything all the time, you know? It's a beautiful scene, it really is. Like, the tropical kind of archipelago scenery is great. The music, more than anything. I'm so glad it's gonna be hopefully archived on YouTube, because you know people are gonna keep these like on loop, and that's the biggest tragedy, is the music, in my opinion, and the environment and everything. But I do feel like this might be a rerun. This might come back next summer. You know, this is literally a summer event, so unless they're gonna do a new summer event every year, rerunning this would probably be a breath of fresh air to get people back into the step of things, or new players. I don't know. It's a give and take for sure. And if you're here in the here and now, experience it. Take your time. It's gonna be here for a month and a half. But I understand. I also feel like people that want this to stay, they want it to stay because it's new right now, but it's going to become old news after you finish everything. And rather than keep it around, I'd rather MiHoYo take this away to give us something grander. Like, this is kind of like baby Inazuma, right? Inazuma is a bunch of islands interconnected with the new region, the new culture, the new, the new way of life, the new storyline and stuff like that. Like, this is baby Inazuma. We're gonna get giant islands separated by water. You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of a taste test. And I understand why take it away then. I think the takeaway is just for the sake of, A, you gotta think of the mobile players. And yeah, that's gonna damper the PC community, you know, that can handle that. But this is first and foremost a mobile game that happens to run really well on PC and consoles. We're always gonna have to think of the mobile market because that's what this game is catered towards. It's catered towards mobile for the casual audience. It's catered towards how you get reward. It's catered to how it has a stamina system. And, you know, unfortunately, that's just how gacha games are. I don't think any one person is going to come into Genshin and be like, we need to change how things are with gacha games because Genshin is different. MiHoYo ultimately has the final word on what this game looks like. The issue isn't necessarily like, why are you taking this away? Because when you ask yourself, like, why are they taking this away? It's like, well, yeah, for space. But then you realize Inazuma's going to be permanent. Natlan's going to be permanent. Shineznaya is going to be permanent. Sumeru is going to be permanent. Conry is going to be permanent. Endgame's going to be permanent. You know what I mean? Like, if you're like, oh, but the mobile players, how the fuck are the mobile players going to handle 6 other regions? If you're playing Genshin right now, appreciate and enjoy this while you can, because it's not going to be around forever. But there is content that will be permanent. Main regions will be permanent to where you don't have to cry over the spilled milk of the archipelagos going away. Why would you cry about the archipelagos when Inazuma is probably going to be better than anything that this gives us? And we've been waiting for that for over a year now, almost a year now, rather. I don't know. I know I just went on a little bit of a rant there, but I understand. I really do. I understand the fact of, like, this is a beautiful region. It's gorgeous. The music, territories, and everything like that. The new fights. But Maku Kenki's being relocated to Inazuma. Kazuha's mats are being relocated to Inazuma. And all you're gonna miss are the archipelagos and the music. And the boat riding, which the boat riding might be in Inazuma as well. And then you're kind of left with a Dragonspine situation. How much do you visit Dragonspine other than for commissions? Again, that's MiHoYo's fault for not giving us more to do there periodically instead of all at once. But I understand why they're getting rid of this. And yes, the mobile community is a big reason for that as well. You know, if you missed out on it, it sucks, but guess what? If you're not playing Genshin, you missed out on 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, and 1.5. Lantern Rite came and went. Windbloom came and went. Unreconciled Stars came and went. Scaramouche came and went. We've experienced it. We're no stranger to content. We're no stranger to content coming in this game and then leaving. So why are the archipelagos? I mean, I can see why the archipelagos are different because this is substantial compared to anything else we've had come and go. But I don't know, that's just something to consider. Yeah, the lore, that's the thing too. Like, every update has given us lore-based something that has gone away. I'm not saying that that's a good business model for MiHoYo, taking out story content, taking out lore and cutscenes and dialogue and, you know, plot being forwarded. I'm not making an excuse for them, but you have to understand, like, we've been dealing with this for the last 8-9 months of the game's release. So, you know, it's probably crazier for you to realize when you realize the scope and the scale of what we're gonna have to say goodbye to after 1.6. For the lore, it makes sense why we're not coming back here. I mean, realistically speaking, this is always gonna be here. We're just not gonna be able to come back to it. You know what I mean? Like, this is a location that's very unknown to many people in the world of Teyvat, and the fact that we're probably some of the first people that have been here since the lore that's unfolding right now. So they kind of weaseled around an excuse of why we can't come back. It's not the fact that it's been nuked from Teyvat. It's like, well, this is a one-time experience. Enjoy it while you can, because the chances of you coming back are probably unprecedented. Also, with Act 4, we don't know how Act 4 is gonna end up. For all we know, all of this just might be swept under the ocean and we'll, you know, it's like, well, now we can't come back no matter what, you know? You gotta think about that too. So yeah, all in all, I understand both sides of the perspective, both sides of the argument. But like, we're getting permanent content, right? All of the general regions of the game are gonna be permanent. And I think that's the ultimate thing that we should probably expect to be permanent. Theater Mechanicus wasn't permanent. Wind Trace wasn't permanent. All of these other mini games and events come and go as they always have. I'm not saying, well, we should just accept that. Like, we should fight back because maybe if we complain about it, MiHoYo will keep them. It seems like this is their roadmap plan. And if you're up to date with the game, you'll experience it all. And if you fall behind if you fall behind because of burnout for 1 or 2 events, unfortunately, you miss out. Sometimes MiHoYo lets you be able to kind of reconcile some of the things you missed out on. Like, you can buy the lyre and the balloons from Windbloom from Granny Shan in Liyue. But, like, you can't be like, well, I don't want to engage in this now, but I want it for me when it's convenient for me to come back. And people who aren't playing Genshin, you're going to be so busy with content, you're not going to give a shit about the stuff you missed out on until you catch up with everything and then you see what you missed. I accept it. You know, that's why I'm up to date with everything. That's why I've been streaming Genshin since day 1. And I try to maintain and stay consistent with playing the game and not getting burnt out so I don't miss out on anything because I care that much about the game. And yeah, I mean, that's all I can really say. I'm going to stop ranting and rambling now. I'm looking forward to Inazuma. I'm going to be done with the Archipelagos by the end of the week anyway. And it was a great experience, you know? So, yeah.